Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, I pray the Lord my soul to take. Terrifying as a child. Yet that hung over my bed most of my childhood, with my mother reading that to me in the evenings. And then one night I remember waking up and going, what? I can die? What does that even mean? Because we don't have a concept of understanding as a young child about what that even means. And then my grandpa passed away, and I got the inclination of what that means. And I realized now, when I went home to visit my sister, and it was hanging in the guest bedroom, it was like, wow, that was really a scary prayer. And I realized how many of us may have been scared, frightened by stories, perhaps, that we grew up with, by teachings that we were told, by things that may have happened in spiritual communities or churches that we may have attended. So why is that church can be such a scary place for us? And it's not just in the Catholic or the Mormon or the Christian or Jewish traditions. It happens in New Thought. Yeah, it happens right here in New Thought as well. We have ministers that are unhealed that may cause harm and hurt to their communities. We have some churches that have had funds embezzled. We haven't, but we have had that occur. We have had boards of trustees that are dictatorial and controlling and make it a very miserable place to live. That happens everywhere because we are beings of choice, and church is a microcosm of life, isn't it? And we all come together and we expect this to be the safe place. This is a place of healing, though, where we bring that stuff to be healed with each other. And we're here to be in community, like Rob was singing. We need each other in community. We need each other to share that healing journey and that healing walk. So if you are someone that has ever been hurt, harmed, scared by some religious teaching or religious experience that you've had, I hope that you know that Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living is a safe place to land. This was one of the founding principles, actually, of our center being founded 3 years ago, was to be a safe place for people to land. People who may have been harmed by other centers, churches, teachings, whatever that might be. It's a safe place to heal, a safe place to grow, a safe place to experience and explore your own spirituality in this thing we call God. That's what we're here to do. So I hope that you find this place is some place to be spiritually lifted, comforted, and connected. That's what we're striving for. So I hope that you're having that experience with us. So my talk today is partake and participate in community as we continue our month on transformation. And we know that spiritual communities can be transforming, can't they? On either side. But here we're going to be talking about the positive side. So that's where we're going with this today. No worries. Some of the common words and themes that I hear about people in community here are, gosh, this is my family. I feel like I'm home. Or I feel more uplifted when I leave than when I came in. Thank you. So those are some of the things that we hear around here. So when I was doing my online research this week for my talk, I came across so many positive studies about the positive impact that attending a spiritual or church community has for us. And I have certainly seen this in my life as I was a young child growing up in the Methodist church, and that was a big part of my social life. My growth and expansion and community was that. And then I left that in my late teens and did not return to a church community until I found religious science of mind. And then the exploration that I've had in that in almost 20 years. And finding the difference that it has made in my life of attending a spiritual community. Huge difference. I mean, who thought 20 years ago I'd be standing up here talking to you today? But that said, we know that it is impactful to us. And we know how stinking hard it can be to get up and come in here on Sunday morning. There's so many other things to do, especially here in Arizona in the springtime. Recreation. You can go for a bike ride or a hike in our beautiful hills. Brunch. Sit on the patio because you don't get to do that too many months out of the year. Or if you just want to stay in bed, get up late, read the newspaper, stay in your pajamas, have an extra cup of coffee. It's all wonderful, isn't it? And I know from my own personal experience, when I was between churches between the end of 14 and 15, and I would watch my buddies throughout religious science on the internet, live streaming, see what they were talking about in my jammies, with my coffee, I missed community. It just wasn't the same. The message is there, but the connection is not there. And I found that to be so missing in my life. So when Spirit continued to tap on my heart about opening a center, it's like the big yes, of course. I get how important community is. I get how important it is. So there are proven benefits to participating in spiritual community. And the studies that I read this week seem to be threefold. They kind of put them into three categories. One is health and wellness, including psychological benefits. The other is selfless service and giving. And the third is, of course, spiritual growth and personal growth. So those are the three buckets that all of these studies seem to indicate that attending a spiritual center on a regular basis has for us. Journalist and author Laura Rowley seemed to have the most comprehensive compilation of all of these different studies that I read. So basically referencing her work this morning. And the first benefit is health. The first benefit is health. And she says going to church boosts the immune system, lowers blood pressure, and helps you live longer. Why wouldn't you come, right? Tyler Van Wheeler, an epidemiologist, and I had to look that up, that investigates patterns and causes of disease and injury in humans. He says, and he's with Harvard, and he says that in a study that he conducted over 20 years, it's a long study, 20 years. It's not just let's see what happens in 30 days here, but 20 years. And he found that people who attended services at least once a week enjoy better blood pressure, healthier cardiovascular, immune, and endocrine functions, less coronary artery disease. And he also found that at about the 10.5-year mark of attendance, that the risk of dying drops 20 to 30%. And folks live 2 to 3 years longer. Go figure, who knew? Something about the communal religious experience and participation matters, as opposed to private spiritual practice. Something powerful appears to take place there and enhance health. Powerful indeed, and now verified through these studies. And I've shared the health and wellness of some of our most senior ministers throughout our movement. They appear to be maybe in their 60s or 70s, and they're in fact in their 80s and 90s and beyond. And I always attributed it to our teaching and the principles that they practice in meditation and so forth. And now it's also being proven out that just that regular attendance in community, in a spiritual community, is also a key ingredient to that longevity. So perhaps it's as Ernest Holmes, the founder of our centers and the author of The Science of Mind, says, our life in reality is spiritual and mental. And until our thought is healed, no form of cure will be permanent. We understand that health is a mental as well as physical state. Heal the thought, heal the body. And by coming into community, we have that opportunity of immersion to continue to remind ourselves, because it's like the old truck that goes in, the old wagon that goes in the rut all the time on the road, right? It keeps going in the same rut. Our minds do that. But when we're in community like this, we can get out of that rut and have our new thinking be experienced more in our lives. So number 2, she says, frequent churchgoers have a larger social circle with more kinds of support than people who don't attend. Strong friendships and social support have a direct correlation with better health. Now, I think we definitely experience that here. Yeah, we experience that here. We look out for each other, don't we? We're always checking in. We have a sense of each other in community, and that sense is how you doing, how you feeling. You seem a little up, you seem a little down. What good has happened? Something wonderful's happened, I can tell. Or maybe you're a little down. Okay, what's going on? Talk to us. So we look out for each other. And I was so touched a couple of weeks ago when I came in and we were getting ready for service. And Carol on the front desk up here, she's an employee of this facility. She doesn't really attend our services. And yet she sought me out and she said, "Hey, where's Annie? Where's Annie?" Annie always brings our flowers, and she's our greeter. You all got to meet her when you walked in this morning. But she brings our flowers, and our flowers are here. She goes, "Well, wait a minute, your flowers are here, but Annie's not here. Where's Annie?" And I said, "Well, she's out today." And she goes, "I was so concerned. I just want to make sure she's okay." And I was so touched by that. So touched by that even Carol is in community with us. And I love when I get the phone calls, "Hey, I haven't seen so-and-so in church. Are they okay? What's going on?" Or when you reach out and tell me that you're not going to be here. Or, "Hey, I'm having a rough day. I need a little extra prayer support." Or, "Hey, guess what? That prayer just manifested." All of that is community. All of that is keeping us connected. And that's what we're about. So if you're not feeling connected here, I invite you to step in and join us for Wednesday night. That is a much more intimate environment where I don't do nearly as much talking, I hope, right, Renee? Not quite as much talking? You do get to talk some. This is my time to talk to you. That's my time to talk with you. So Wednesday night is great. We also have Joanne's class coming up. Classes are a wonderful way to connect. Those of you that have taken classes with us know it's a wonderful way to get to know your fellow students. I've seen many, many lasting and long-term relationships come from our classes. And volunteering is another way to step into community and be connected, get to know people by working with them and being in and of service with them. It's a wonderful, wonderful way. Step in and be part of our community. It was Emerson that said, "If you want a friend, be a friend." Imagine if that was your perspective. I am a friend to all that I meet. And if we all had that perspective of I am a friend, then everybody would be friends, friendly, and well connected, right? Ernest Holmes said, "We should give of ourselves in love and in service to others, in a spirit of generosity and good fellowship. To refuse to give is to refuse to receive, for everything moves in circles. Real giving is the givingness of the self, a kind word, a thoughtful act, perhaps just a smile, can lighten the burden of others." You remember I've shared with you that I've been in the negotiations with one of the partners buying out another partner in our company. It was rather contentious over the past several months. We've gotten the contract finalized, and my counterpart on the other side that took all of that over now to facilitate that process with the due diligence and the closing and so forth. I saw her in the break room, and I could sense that she was not happy. And so I asked her, I said, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Yeah, I'm okay." But I could tell there was more there. And I said, "Do you need a hug?" And she stopped, and she said, "Yes." And she immediately stepped in to that deep hug. Stepped away, said thank you, and left. The next day I got a text from her. And she said, "Thank you for that." She said, "I didn't realize how much I really needed that." And that's what we do, isn't it? That's what we do when we reach out one to another and we're there for another human being. That's what Rob was singing about this morning. That song was so perfect. We need each other. We need each other. Number 3, people who go to services regularly are less likely to be depressed. Everybody smile. A survey of nearly 100,000 women who attended religious services found that they were 56% more likely to have a positive outlook on life and 27% less likely to be depressed. It's a pretty good statistic. Regular religious practice can help foster a positive worldview, and a separate study found that regular church goers were 5 times less likely to commit suicide. What that study says to me is that I think where we have seen an erosion in church attendance in the last 40 years, that we've also seen that reflected in society in some areas, wouldn't you say? That we're seeing more violence and we're seeing more things that are disconnecting of people, more separation. So the healing of our planet may be a return to our spiritual communities, a return to connecting with each other. That may be what we need to start focusing on. Ernest Holmes in The Science of Mind says, let the one who is sad, depressed, or unhappy find some altruistic purpose or selfless service into which he may pour his whole being, and he will find a new inflow of life which has never been dreamed of. Spiritual centers such as ours that teach successful living principles can help us to change our thinking and to see things in a new or different perspective. And we grow in the realization of more joy, more love, and more life. Number 4, her research also says that churchgoers are happier with their lives overall. Would you say you're generally happy? Yeah, I think so. I think we're generally happy. And, I have the best seat in the house on Sundays because I get to see all your smiling faces every single Sunday, and I know what's going on with you. You may not think I do, but I know what's going on with you. And most of you are very happy. And I enjoy seeing that. I enjoy seeing your growth and changes that happen with you week after week, month after month, and year after year. So I know we're having a positive impact. The study that Raleigh referenced found that 1/3 of people who went to church every week and reported having close friends there say that they were extremely satisfied with their lives, compared to just 19% of people who attended but didn't have connections. How about that? So the connecting part seems to be the real fuel of this study. And the key is building that intimate cluster of like-minded people. So the study goes on to say, we think it has something to do with the fact that you meet a group of close friends on a regular basis, and you participate in certain activities that are meaningful to that group. At the same time, they share certain social identity of a sense of belonging to a moral faith community. Now, this is not like joining the bowling league or the baseball team, is it? Because those things can have a sense of competition in them, can't they? If you join the baseball team, you're competing with the other team, but you're also sort of competing on your own team for position, for playing time, and all those sorts of things. So there can be a sense of competition in that sort of thing. Whereas in a spiritual community, we're not in competition. I can pray better than you can. Right? I meditate longer than you do. No, we're not in competition. We're in community. We have a common belief on which we rest. We believe in God. We believe in one spirit, one source, one life, one mind, and we're all in that. It's like the Three Musketeers, one for all and all for one. We are connected in community, all striving in an alignment for the same goals and objectives of successful living from the inside out, which is our tagline around here. That's what we teach. And we're all in this together. So there's a sense of belonging that is so important. And that's that idea of I feel like I'm home. I feel like this is my family. I feel so connected here. So I want to add to Raleigh's list that my experience has been the shift in the last 19 years since I found the Science of Mind from that thinking of God as something outside of myself, as a parental dictator perhaps, somebody that was kind of moody and needed to be worshipped and all that sort of stuff, into the idea that Spirit is within us and is a loving presence. Nothing but love. Nothing but love. Wants only the best for us. Nothing but love. And it expresses through us, each one of us. And that shift in my awareness from that has made a tremendous impact in my life. And it's that power and presence that I can use and you can use in your life. The science of mind has been accused over the years of being a materialistic teaching. Have you ever heard that? All you do is talk about manifesting stuff. Well, we believe, as most faith traditions do, that everything in form comes from the unformed. In the beginning, nothing, and then there was, right? So it comes from nothing, from the unformed, non-material, into the material realm. So it's all based on a belief in the non-material, isn't it? Because God's not a guy sitting on a chair up in heaven on a floaty cloud. Would you agree? Okay, thank you. It is essence, presence, source, all of those words that we use to describe it in the science of mind, but it's indescribable because it is immaterial. And yet we know through the power of our thought, through the power of the law of mind, that we can manifest into reality things, stuff, material stuff into our life. But what else do we teach? God is all there is. If God is all there is, God is the music stand, right? Because it came as a creative idea from the divine source of the immaterial substance through the person that did it. And the things that you have in your life have been created through you. So it's not really a materialistic teaching. It is that we are the hands and feet of the divine and allow that to express through us, as us, into material manifestation. Because that's where we live. And that makes life fun and joyful. So that requires faith, doesn't it? To have a belief in something you can't see. To have a belief in something you cannot see becomes an experience, doesn't it? It becomes heartfelt. It's an embodiment. That takes faith. And faith is something that we can learn through our practice, through our experiences, through our study, through our classes, through participation, through attending. We can learn faith. We can strengthen that faith muscle. So when we can experience a loving God vividly, living color, experience that as a personal relationship, we are healthier and happier human beings. So, of course, we know that there's many other benefits to attending community. You've got gratitude, forgiveness, understanding of the cosmos, understanding your relationship to that, learning and studying, inspiring and uplifting music. It's a place to discover deeper meaning in our lives. More than just the old 9 to 5. A place to discover deeper meanings in our lives. So our 3 pillars of stewardship that we hold here at Scottsdale Center for Spiritual Living are connect, serve, and circulate. And those 3 pillars help and support us and our center to thrive. And participation means that we are active in the community. Not because I say so. That doesn't matter. It's because you want to, right? It's because you want to be participating in the community and showing up and connected with the others. And when you're not here, not only do you miss, but you're missed. Not only do you miss, you are missed. People ask about you when you're not here because you're an important thread in the fabric and the tapestry of this community. But there's also, of course, the personal health and wellness benefits to you to be here. So take care of yourself. Self-care. Come to church. So our center, I think, is alive with spirit. We feel it. We experience. We are it. Because there's no them. We are this center, aren't we? Because if we're not here, it's not here. So we are this center. We're the spark of illumination. Each one of us, an individual spark attracted to the other spark that creates that illumination of the world. And it's as the Buddha said, those who rejoice in seeing others observe the way will obtain great blessing. I am blessed every week to see you guys. See you finding the way, experiencing spiritual expansion. Let's move into our practicing the principles for this week. Number 1, be the center. Be the center. In our teaching, we teach that we are all in that wholeness and oneness of spirit. And that we're also the whole of the center, aren't we? We are the whole of this center, each one of us being it. And again, one of you is missing, we might come looking for you. We're not going to be tracking you down for reasons like you might think. We're going to be tracking you down because we care about you. We want to know what's going on. Are you okay? Because my experience has been that frequently if you're missing, something's going on, and instead of stepping into community, you've stepped out. Right? Yeah. So let us be here for you. Step in. Give us a call. Call a practitioner. Call myself, Reverend Glenn. We're here for you. Number 2, be of service. Step in. Volunteer. Volunteer is the lifeblood of our center. You know that. Many of you volunteer a lot of time and talents here to our community, and we so appreciate that. But we know that being of service in the world is the best feeling for us. It's so rewarding for us to be of service to others in the world, to give that service, to allow ourselves to be a place where Spirit shows up as service to another. So we have lots of opportunities. If you'd like to volunteer on Sunday, we've got committees that need help. Everybody's welcome. It's easy. Don't have to sign up forever. Won't handcuff you to it. Number 3, connect. Consider participating in other events and activities that we have. We have a pretty active social calendar around here. We have our tailgates where you can just stay after church for a few minutes and visit with us in the parking lot. There's always good snacks and great conversation. We have Fun with Friends that meets on an evening once a month to connect in some social environment for something fun. We have Brunch Bunch on Sunday, the fourth Sunday after service. It's a time to go to lunch right after church together in community and just continue the conversation. And of course our Wednesday night and our classes are wonderful ways to do that. These are all ways that you can enrich your life and the life of this community. So participating in your spiritual community is the key to your and its success, because you are the community. So I want to thank all of you that do participate, that are here every Sunday. You get the gold star. You've been here all but one. And those who have contributed time, talent, and treasure. So thank you all very much. You are so appreciated in this place we call home. So I want to close today with a Rumi quote. He says, "Wherever you stand, be the soul of that place." Wherever you stand, be the soul of that place. And today, you're the soul of this place. So I want to thank you for being with us today. And if you are with us for the very first time, I hope that you have found us to your liking. And we always recommend you come back about 3 times to get the broader flavor of the community and experience what's happening around here. And we do have, as I said earlier, our annual meeting. You're invited to stay for that so that you can find out a little more about our community and who we are and what's going on. So I would invite you now, if you would, to join me for an affirmative prayer. How good it is to recognize that there is one life, and that life is God. It is the power and the presence. It is love, it is joy, it is harmony and peace. It is all that is, was, and ever shall be. It is that unconditioned and unconditional love, pressed down to overflowing and flowing through and as all. And I know that all of that is here now, present in, through, and as me in this room, in, through, and as each one of us that are here today, as expressions of it. Unique, individualized manifestations of love, of light, of harmony, of creativity. And in this knowing, I speak my word for and about each one of us, knowing that we are blessed, pressed down to overflowing as well this day as we step into this realization of our oneness and our wholeness in the divine, in love, in joy, in community. And I know, too, for anyone that has anything on their heart this day that they would like a little extra prayer support around, as they lift that into their awareness, that it is healed, clarity comes forward, that there is some revelation of the truth, and that the healing is revealed in, through, and as them here now. And how grateful I am for this manifestation. How grateful I am for this community and all that are in it. All that it has done, is doing, and shall do. For coming together in community. We are that wholeness of the divine in expression, in form. So it is with great gratitude that I release this into the activity of law, knowing that the word spoken is the word made manifest. I release it and let it be, and we affirm together by saying, and so it is.